Today in Wasteland 3 we are going to be doing a tank build. We haven't done a tank build before, this is my first one, and I figured I'd show you how it plays and how to do the exact build. Welcome to the Curriculus. I'm a monk, and today we are in Wasteland 3, and as I just said, we are going to be doing a tank build. Now, I have done a lot of builds before, but never have I done one that specifically focuses on a guy soaking up as many bullets as possible. After having a little look-see about, I think that a melee build will actually work for this really well. It has a couple of synergies that I like to look at, so I figured I'd show you it and see what we can get, really. I haven't actually completely planned this through when I was doing it. I wasn't exactly sure where I was going to be able to get the buffs from. Obviously, coordination needs to be max for actually playability. Max coordination is really important. Blunt weapons are kind of 4 points a hit. It's really expensive, unfortunately. We have gone to put our extra points into luck. Maybe looking for that extra lucky critical hit or that extra lucky mega critical hit. We don't need any awareness, and of course, as we are a tank, we need maximum strength. Obviously, the maxed out strength gives us an extra 75 points to our health. So we need that, plus it helps again for being a melee. Speed, we've left that where it is, although if you want to take the points out of luck, as this is a melee build, and put it into speed, that would be a smart idea. We have gone for maximum points into intelligence, basically for the extra 25% critical hit chance. This is where the build gets interesting. Usually I wouldn't recommend putting points or wasting points in armor modding. However, this perk here works for any character that you have in a party. It doesn't have to be your tank itself. Obviously, we've got the 1 point in Animal Whisperer and the 1 point in First Aid, and then we have maxed melee combat as well. Now, like I said, there is a skill book glitch going on at the moment. Maybe you could put the armor points in that way. It might make this worthwhile for a few different people. Anyway, the mechanic line, we've put 3 points in, and of course we got the 6 in Survivor as well, because as we've always said, we like to stack our damage buffs, and this is a very good way of doing it. Now, a perk that I used to use quite a lot, started using it a lot less, but that's Medical Marvel. I really feel like for a tank build, this is completely OP, and I've never actually sat down with, a pretty maxed out character and actually looked at the differences, the quite major differences there are between having that perk in and, of course, not having that perk in. So here we are, we have got our tank character. Now, as you see, we have gone for dual hydraulic hammers, and as you can also see, the health difference between these two characters is also huge. Now, obviously, the other guy is Iron Fist. He's done with a pretty much same build as what our tank character is. The only difference is the quirk, and as you can see, we've got 550, and on this guy, and of course he's got rocking the exoskeleton armor, so that's why his armor buff is so much bigger than this guy with standard tank armor. We've gone for the hydraulic hammer. Like I said, it's one of the best blunt weapons you can actually get in the game, and so yeah, I think this build works quite well. We've gone for the basic power armor as well. I say basic because obviously when it comes to melee characters, there are a few different options. When it comes to armors in this game, you can get some very, very special ones too. The first perk, which is going to make this build work that much extra, is Shrug It Off. While using blunt weapons, you gain 2 armor for every enemy adjacent to you. I'm going to show you this actually work in practice a little bit later on in the video. But I think it really works really well. The next perk that I really like is this. Tender Loving Care. All squad members gain 5 armor while this member is in your party. So this means that you don't necessarily have to have this perk on this character. You need to have it on a character. Of course, if you are using the skill book glitch, exploit, cheat, then of course you can put it on anyone you want, and it doesn't really matter skill point wise. I put it on this character just to show why I'm using it and how I'm using it. I think those 5 points are actually completely massive. Of course, we are doing the perk that we've got in survival mechanics, and of course the standard perk in first aid as well. Shouldn't really need to go over those too much again, as I've gone over them probably about 20 times beforehand. If you haven't seen me talk about them before, maybe check out one of my other videos. So we've gone for Bloodsport as well. So attacking with a blunt weapon critically hits stunned and blinded enemies. You could also get stunning blow. Obviously, that goes hand in hand with the one we just got. So it probably is worth spending your last perk point on that. Other than that, we have got Weathered, which is the 10% critical resistance perk. And of course, we got Healthy as well. Now, if we look, we have got 655 health. Like I said, we have got Iron Fist on 520. That is a lot of health. This guy has over 130 health points more. He's pretty much a sniper health on top of a fully kitted out tank. As you can see, we have increased the armor across board on all of our characters. But we are rocking a very respectable 50 armor. Again, that is pretty good. It's not amazing. It can be increased with, say, the nuclear armor, with the brawler armor, or maybe even with the toaster armor as well. It really depends, what armor that you have available to you. Now, I'm going to show you what this is like actually using. I'm going to do a very, very quick fight. I'm going to show you that he can take hits, he can deal hits, and also I'm going to show you that he gets that armor buff for having people adjacent to him. Now, as you can see his armor right there is currently 52, which means one person standing next to him, and he has got that 2 extra armor. And of course, he hits pretty good too. I think really that was a critical hit, which is why, he 1-KO'd that guy then. We are actually near the end of the game as well here. So these guys, they stack with our level. So these are pretty, tufty little guys. I skipped my go just so you can see that this guy does take an absolute beating. And his health stands up. His armor stands up. This is a build that can work for you. This is a build that attracts fire and takes the hits well too. So that way, your main rangers aren't taking those hits. Now, of course, this armor build can be put on any character. This tank does not have to be a melee character. I just wanted to show you what it was like. I wanted to show you that maxed out melee character on the blunt weapon thing as well, with the get any extra armor with adjacent characters with you. And I also wanted to show you the armor modding kit too. Now, the armor modding kit can be put on any character, like I said, and you don't necessarily need that extra Shrug It Off perk. So like I said, this build could be pretty much set up on any character there is. So as soon as this Honey Badger and Bison have taken their sweet little go, we're going to show you our character one more time, and then you can see the adjacent perk actually working. And it does stack. It does work for as many characters as are around you. However, it is right next to you, so it's not as OP as it sounds, but it definitely does help. As you can see, we're currently on 54 health. There's 2 characters right next to us in those tiny little squares. And so we got the 4 extra armor for having those 2 characters there. Now, if I was to move around the side, he'd have 6 because there'd be 3 characters. So, and it can go on and on and on. Maybe it'd be really good, in the Wastelands up against a few of those creatures in there. You kind of get swarmed by a few of them. Maybe it would help in that situation. But it does help. It can help. It doesn't have to be on this melee kit build, though. Anyway, I've been a monk who've been critically clueless. If you've enjoyed this video, or if you've learned something, or maybe you found it entertaining, or maybe you don't want to miss more videos just like this, then don't forget to hit that like button and of course to subscribe and tell me your thoughts on this build. Have you made a tank character, and if so, what weapon did you have them use? For me, like I said, I've used the blunt build, and it's worked pretty good. I'm actually going to show you some more footage of these characters, because I've done a build for every single one of these 4 characters I've got right now. So I'm going to do a footage of me completely raiding Colorado Springs, and of course earning that Wasteland Reaper achievement. And I'll show you these guys in full swing, and so you can see just how OP these guys actually are. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and good luck in that Wasteland.